Hi neighbors, welcome to the August 2022 How's the Market update. This month we're going to be looking at the previous month of July for the cities of Birmingham and Homewood, comparing them to the same month 1 year back and see how the market is changing. And we're also going to look at how the shifting market brings new perspective to home buyers and just how to look at the market in general. Alright, so looking at the cities of Birmingham and Homewood this past month of July compared to the same month last year. The first thing I want to note is that we have finally jumped into more than 2 months of inventory in Birmingham. For quite a while we've been at like 1 point something months of inventory, and for the record that means if today no more houses came on the market, how many more months would it take to sell everything that's currently on the market? So in Birmingham we just passed 2 months. We're at 2.7 months of inventory, and in the city of Homewood we're at 1.87 months of inventory. So it's still far from a balanced market, which is about 6 or 7 months, but it's a big indicator that we're heading in that direction and we're balancing out a little bit. In the city of Birmingham we currently have 594 houses for sale with an average sales price of $260,000. And in Homewood we have 28 single family houses for sale with an average sales price of $591,000. Now last month in Birmingham, 274 homes sold, and that's about an 8% decrease from the same month last year. Also, about a 6% increase in dollars per square foot, how expensive the same size house is compared to last year. In the city of Homewood, there were 15 houses sold with an average sales price of $794,000. And that dollars per square foot is about 21% higher than the same month last year. So the Homewood market's still significantly amount hotter than the same month last year. Birmingham a little bit hotter than the same month last year. And then here's something to note. On average, in Birmingham, homes sold for 100.4% of their list price. And so previously that's been higher. It's been 101%, 102%. But now we're kind of coming down to, on average, houses are selling for their list price. And in Homewood, we're at 104% of sales price to list price. But that's beginning to balance out. And so it has been the case nationally for a couple months now, but even here in Birmingham now, we're finally seeing things begin to balance out. Shift looks like if you're driving on the interstate and you're going 90 miles per hour and all of a sudden you slow down to 70 miles per hour, it looks way, way slower. But in reality, we're just going back to normal. And so that's definitely what's happening here in Birmingham. Now, we're definitely not headed for a housing market crash. I've covered that extensively in previous months, so I'm not going to go into detail there. But the difference is that we are in an economic recession in the U.S. Back to the 1940s, the way that we've defined an economic recession is 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. And we have seen that this year. Quarter 1 and quarter 2, negative GDP. So we are, the way we've defined it in the past, in an economic recession. But how that affects the housing market, it may be counterintuitive. So 4 out of the last economic recessions we saw in the U.S., home prices continued to go up, with 2008 and another one more 3 decades ago or so being the exceptions. But 4 out of the last 6 economic recessions, home prices went up, and on average, interest rates go down by more than a full percent from the beginning to the end of the economic recession. And so analysts are projecting that by the end of this recession, interest rates will be down a full percentage point on mortgage interest rates. So, big picture, if you were a home buyer over the last year or two and you got discouraged because of how competitive and challenging the market was, now would be a really wise time to consider picking your search back up, because I bet the average person hears things like economic recession or hears all of the talk about a potential housing market crash, and they're definitely going to stay out of the search. And so if you understand that this is a really strong market and that the next year, 2 years looks really good for people who own real estate, I think it would be a really wise time to pick that search back up. And a few things that are in your favor now are fewer multiple offers, fewer listings that are selling for over list price, and then inventory increasing nationally and also here in Birmingham. So there's more to consider. So I hope that helps. If y'all have any questions at all about the real estate market, or if I can help you in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk next month.